Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am very excited to share with you some exact dupes that I have found for the Anastasia Beverly Hill glow kits. The two specifically that I am talking about today is the Moonchild glow kit, looks a little something like that, and the Aurora glow kit. Both of these palettes retail for $40, so they are definitely on the pricey side. However, I love these palettes. I feel like that's no secret. I feel like I've talked about them 1,000 million times on my channel before. They are definitely two of my favorite highlighter palettes. However, I found exact dupes for them recently. I went onto hush.com and on the front page they had these two little highlighting palettes. Both of these palettes retail for $12 a piece, or you can buy them in a bundle together for $22, which is what I did. I also got free shipping on this order, which is awesome. Like I said, these are exact dupes. If you are uncomfortable with the idea of another company ripping off another company, these probably aren't going to be for you. However, if you are someone who cannot afford the Anastasia glow kits because they are so pricey, these are amazing and I will show you why. First thing I wanted to compare these two on was the packaging. The packaging is vastly different. For the Anastasia palettes, I feel like the packaging is so much cheaper. It is a flimsy little cardboard, really nothing special. I mean, there's no frills to it. This is basically, it is what it is style. You don't get a mirror. It is nice and compact. If you're someone who's worried about travel, which I never am, then that might be appealing to you, that it is a little bit more sleek. However, when you look at the face candy glow kits, they are just heavier, they feel more luxe, they feel more luxurious. You do get a nice full-sized mirror, and like I said before, these have a lot more weight to them, making them overall just feel more expensive. On these did kind of take a little while. After I got my order, it probably shipped out 3 days later or so, and then it was there a week after that, so it did take a little bit of time for these to get to me. However, once they showed up, I was so pleased. I didn't care. I saved all the box that it came in just to show you guys how nicely they were packaged. They both came in matching boxes that matched the palette, but they were wrapped in bubble wrap together in this box, as well as they had individual bubble wrap sleeves, so there was no way that these were gonna break. I honestly felt like they did a better job making sure my products were secure and not gonna break than Anastasia did. I did buy the Moonchild glow kit twice off of their website, so I've had experience with their shipping before, and it honestly wasn't as great as Hush's. Let's get into the swatches, shall we? I'm going to start out with the Moonchild glow kit versus the Mermaid glow. Now, when I lay these two out side by side, you can obviously see that they have changed up the layout just ever so slightly to not be an exact copy. In the Anastasia glow kit, you get 4.2 grams of product, and in the Mermaid glow palette, you get 4.5 grams, so you're actually getting a little bit more product as well in the cheaper palette. Starting out with the shade Blue Ice versus the shade Enamored. I actually find the Unicorn glow kit to be ever so slightly more pigmented. It does seem to have a stronger color coming across. Moving over to the shade Star versus the shade Entranced. I really didn't find hardly any difference between these two. They are almost just like exact dupes. They are spot on for each other in my opinion. Last shade in that top row is Purple Horseshoe, and we're gonna be testing that out up against the shade Lure. Once again, I really feel like those two are identical. I didn't really find a whole lot of difference between them. They both have the same undertone, they have the same reflect, they look awesome. First one in the second row is the shade Pink Heart. We'll be testing that out against the shade Gleam. So these two are slightly different. I felt like Gleam is just ever so more chalky. It does have a stronger white base, kind of same problem that you had with Enamored. I do feel like you have more of a white base to it and more of a white reflect, and they are a little more chalky. One of my favorite shades is the green one, that is Lucky Clover, and the dupe for that one is Siren. I really feel like those two are really spot on. There's not a ton of difference. And last but not least is the shade Blue Moon, and we'll be testing that out against Aquarius. These two are a little teeny bit different, not enough to really count like I said before, but Aquarius does have a little bit more blue to it, and I feel like Blue Moon has a little bit more silver to it. All right, and moving on to the next palette, this is the Aurora Glow Kit versus the Unicorn Glow Kit. First shade we're going in with is Eclipse, and the partner to that is going to be Dream. So these two are pretty much spot on. They're pretty much the exact same color. I'm sorry I keep saying spot on so much. However, in the Unicorn Glow Kit, I do feel like that one is a lot chalkier and a lot powderier. I do feel like the Anastasia version is milled a lot finer and a lot nicer. Moving over to the shade Luna. The dupe for that is going to be the shade Stardust. These are pretty much exact. There's really not a ton of difference between these two. Overall, I feel like the knockoff versions are a lot more pigmented because the powders are just a slightly bit softer texture. Third shade in this palette is Spectra, one of my personal favorites. And the dupe we have for that is the shade Fantasy. Once again, I really feel like they did an amazing job with these colors. I feel like those are really spot on, and that one seemed like it would be a difficult color to match. The first shade in the second row is hands down my favorite. It is the shade Helia, and the dupe we have for that is the shade Wonder. These are damn near spot on. These are pretty much perfect dupes for each other. The Unicorn one is ever so slightly more pigmented, which I love. I love only having to dip into a highlight palette once to get the full effect. Next shade is Orion. The dupe for that is Celestial. These are definitely exact dupes. Like I said, I feel like the Unicorn palette is just slightly more pigmented, which I really appreciate. I love that. And last but not least, we have the shade Lyra. And the dupe we have for that is the shade Enchanted. Can you spot the difference? I mean, I can't. I feel like those are also, once again, exact. They're spot on. You've seen them all swatched for yourselves. I definitely think there's no question about it. These are dupe palettes. These are meant to be dupe palettes. They're meant to be exact replicas of the originals. I do prefer them to the original. I do like them more simply because the packaging, it feels nicer. Like this feels heavier and nicer in my hand than this does. No questions about it. This feels sturdier. I like that there's a mirror in this one. I like that these are more pigmented. I have to use less product, less pressure when applying. There's nothing wrong with either of these options. Obviously, I love colored highlighter. I'm a huge fan of highlighter. Today, I am wearing the shade Enchanted and Stardust on my cheeks because I love mixing highlighters. I can't help myself. I'm a little addicted if you didn't know. But I have to say, I think Face Candy did an amazing job with these palettes. They are exact dupes. They are nice. They are great quality. They're not a ripoff, they're not a throwaway item, which is honest to God what I thought this was going to be. I didn't expect anything out of these palettes. I didn't think they were gonna be great simply because I had never bought from Hush before. After buying from them, I am so pleasantly surprised. It makes me so happy that they exist. It doesn't really bother me that they totally ripped off Anastasia of Beverly Hills because that's just kind of what happens when you're at the top of your game is people start to impersonate you, I guess. That's no excuse, but not everyone can afford a $40 palette. So it's so amazing to know that there is a good, safe, nice alternative that is definitely worth your money. And I think honestly, obviously, I think they're better than the originals. As I mentioned before, there is totally nothing wrong with the original palettes. After trying these, I can't not recommend these over these. It seems silly of me to tell somebody to go out and buy the Moonchild Glow Kit when I honest to God believe that the Mermaid Glow Kit is better and it's a quarter of the price. That's pretty hard to beat, just saying. That's a pretty good price point. $10 for a glow kit is pretty awesome, but then to be such good quality on top of that, I was just really, really impressed. What do you guys think about dupe palettes? Do you think it's a ripoff? Do you not like the idea of it? Like I said, it doesn't personally bother me because there's been so many times in my life where I can't afford like a $40 palette. I feel like that's pretty common. So I've definitely been grateful for cheaper makeup in the past, but doing like a straight up copy of another product, does that bother you? It doesn't bother me as long as it's done safely and it's done well. Just had to share these palettes with you guys because I have been thoroughly enjoying them. If you are someone who is not into bright highlighter or colored highlighter, I mean, I don't feel like this looks too crazy. and I'm wearing 2 of them on my face right now. It doesn't have to be extreme or dramatic or crazy every single time. These can go on very sheer. You just use a light hand with it. Don't apply a lot of pressure. Use a little bit of product. Tap your brush off. These can be done very subtly and still look so beautiful on the skin. Don't be too intimidated by them if you've never used colored highlighter before. I love them. I think it's so much fun. So all that being said, if you're not a highlighter person, you can always use these as eyeshadow toppers. They look amazing over dark eyeshadows as well as on top of a white base. If you were to layer any of these on top of a black eyeshadow or a white base, they would look amazing and so iridescent. Just really beautiful. There's a ton of uses I could think to use these palettes for other than highlighting. That's probably how I finish all my highlighters, is I use them in so many different ways. I'm addicted to highlighter. Please send help. Oh my god. I'm gonna wrap this video up now because I feel like everything was pretty self-explanatory. If you liked this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or leaving a comment down below. I love talking to you guys so much. You have no idea how much your comments make my day. If you made it to the end of this video, what is your current favorite highlighter? Or if you don't use highlighter, tell me why. Why do you not like highlighter? I love you guys all so much. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.